help people. So if I were to come to you for something, what might be something I would like? Maybe if I have I'm having a problem in a relationship or something. Would that be a reason I would come to you?
Typically, people come to me because they have an ouch. They have
An
something
ouch.
that isn't going well.
Uh-huh.
And it might be anxiety, depression, trouble in relationships. I do get some people who come and say, I just want to grow.
Really?
I know that, using energy and growing through the chakra system is, in consciousness, spirituality, is where I want to be. I do get some people doing that. But most of the time, being human beings, we have an ouch. And something that isn't going well, that drives us to that place of wanting something
It's not working.
different.
My life's not working, or this is hurting, or I'm depressed, too depressed too long, or...
Yeah, and now people are realizing that a lot, that throwing medication at things, medication is wonderful in certain places.
Mm-hmm.
And, I will say to people, I was trained in a major medical center in the bastion of tradition. So I didn't come to I wasn't one to just throw away all of,
all the medical model that you grew up doing,
right,
that you love to do.
But what I really knew is that it wasn't the answer. Nothing is the answer to everything.
Correct.
So now, I'll give you an example. If people come with anxiety or depression, there's an awful lot of anxiety and depression that really doesn't respond well to medication.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the answer to the problem. There are people who need medication, and they cannot live without it. But they're a small percentage of the overall population. We've gotten, because of managed care, into the place where you have 15 minutes with somebody, you're not trained in how this mind-body energy system works, so you don't have anything else except a prescription pad.
Right.
Now that's changing, but let's use an example. People come, I have had people come with symptoms of anxiety and depression, trouble sleeping, trouble with their relationships. And I'm thinking of one particular person to kind of put some form on this, structure to it. And what we had to look at, now, you mentioned the root chakra. The root chakra is often responsible in cases of anxiety and depression. The root chakra is forming between the years of 0 to 5. We don't have language during that time. We're gaining it.
Right.
So anything that happened to us back in that time is imprinted in the system, and then the system is building on that. It's like a foundation. The root chakra is responsible for your bones and your teeth. So it's the foundation of the rest of what happens.
Yeah.
So if you've got a wobble there, and especially if it's a big wobble.
And tell us about a wobble. What do you call a wobble?
Well, I'll use this case. A person grew up in a very neglectful home.
Okay.
Alcoholism, a lot of verbal and emotional abuse, mother with some emotional issues, and then the father alcoholic. So the children weren't well cared for. They certainly weren't guided. They weren't taught. They were left on their own kind of to develop. And a child always thinks everything's their fault.
Right.
And they, in a child's mind, decide certain things, and that belief gets tucked away, and then they lead their life.
In a child's minds, they decide something, and based on their perception of what they're experiencing, and then they tuck it away as a belief.
Yep, and then that
becomes
drives them. That becomes, the world is scary. Mom and Dad don't love me. A man will hurt me. You know, whatever their experience, or however they
internalized or took that
through their
experience, and they tucked it away as a belief.
Right. And
because that's one of my beliefs is I've always been afraid of men, because I had a very strong father, and stuff happened to me when I was young. Though my father loved me, stuff happened, so it made me really afraid of men.
Right. So if you think about this energy that's helping us to learn to walk and locomote through life, and then we're coming up into the next chakra where we're learning about emotions and relationships. If you're betrayed,
Mm-hmm.
in that, now that's from 4 or 5 up to 8. If you're betrayed or harmed emotionally in that time period, that's, again, it's part of this foundation that you're building your life on.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, is I explain to people who are in this kind of situation as young children, this energy should be coming up and being used to develop.
Instead of being stuck.
Instead of to defend, to avoid, to stay safe, to...
Right.
So
I get that.
all of your resources are being spent.
So they can't come up and help you
So
develop.
you can't, right. Now we do well. Most of us do well in spite of
Mm-hmm.
those things. But it's like walking with one high heel on and one high heel off, where,
Kind of gimpy.
And so, so getting back to this one particular client who's a good example to use, we had to take a look at her adrenal glands, because this isn't just, you work with the material, the mental, emotional, physical, energetic, because we're all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, could you heal someone with this kind of problem with just energy work? Yeah, you could. But it would probably take a while.
So what did you use?
So I work bringing many modalities
Mm-hmm.
in. So we look at, okay, so your adrenal glands, your root chakra is depleted. The adrenal glands are shot. You need to feed them.
How did you know those things?
The chakra assessment that I do.
I see. Okay.
I have besides the chakra assessment, I do a medical history just like any
Okay.
doctor or psychologist would do.
Okay.
And then I have a biofeedback instrument that takes a look at the nervous system.
Biofeedback instrument. And how do you plug someone into that?
It has a hand plate, and the information from the points on the hand go through, and it in the background, all the different body systems are represented. So it gives you a picture of the strengths and weaknesses of the person's systems.
Wow.
Now, I wouldn't use that totally to look at.
But that gives you an idea of what's
but
going on.
What
from
happens is these different assessments that I use, they all tell the same story.
I see. So somehow they all pointed toward adrenal glands
Right.
and
So
root chakra.
what we did was to give her adrenal glands some nutrition, and I use standard process. It's organic food supplements. It's food as medicine.
Probiotic type thing?
Probiotics are replacing the organisms in the
The gut.
gut. In this case, we can supplement. This particular company only sells to health professionals because this is supposed to be food as medicine, and you can support the endocrine system or cardiovascular or any other system. So we feed the adrenal glands. We also talk about diet. What are the foods that feed the adrenals?
Mm-hmm.
What else? Sleep.
Mm.
People with shot adrenals have a terrible time sleeping or can't stay asleep. So then we have to look at sleep hygiene. Then we look at how is the energy wobbling and what can you use to quiet it, to get it aligned. There are some very specific techniques that I call centering and grounding that help start to build the energetic charge in the root chakra.
Great.
You start to feel safer, you feel calmer. I use emotional freedom technique to help straighten out and align the energy system as well.
Great.
So there are a lot of different tools that you use, and as I said, giving the person the nutrition, the nutrients, supplements, isn't something that's going to go on and on and on. It's something you use for now. You're teaching the person to eat in a way that's different, that's supportive of, because a lot of the stuff we eat depletes our adrenal glands. So